This is a book review of Mockingbird, Volume 2, even though it doesn't actually say it's Volume 2, My Feminist Agenda. There is, of course, Volume 1, a picture of it there. There's 117 pages in this. It's all in colour. And it came out in 2017, obviously from Marvel, and includes Mockingbird 6 to 8. Now, this is the thing slightly bugs me. It would have been nice if they brought out with the Volume 1, if they just put the whole lot in there. I know they don't do that. They bring these out in 5 or something like that. But it would have been much nicer in a sort of more complete collection. However, they also include the Avengers 13 and 14, the new Avengers, I should say, 2010. What happens? She's trapped on a ship with thousands of cosplayers. Gives lots of opportunity for a lot of fun with like lots of Hawkeyes turning up, lots of Mockingbirds turning up, and lots of people with horse heads and also T-shirts. Obviously, Hulk and lots of other characters are all involved in this. Obviously, none of the other characters are like Hulk. However, poor old Hawkeye is actually currently being a court case against him, and she obviously is investigating about that she needs to find something out that hopefully will help him, and that's really quite good. Her ex-husband, and what happens, of course, her ex-boyfriend turns up as well on this ship. So, and also with corgis. Apparently, he's there as a royal corgi event or something. And you think very odd. You've got the Bermuda Triangle involved. So everything is thrown in. The kitchen sink is thrown in. So you've got some great air. See the Bermuda Triangle. The artwork is brilliant. The colouring is lovely. I love the colouring. I really do. Lettering is absolutely fine. Very easy. All the story flows really nice. Now, it's not full of all like... I'm not so... Compared with Volume 1, I like Volume 1. Volume 1 was better than Volume 2. I'm not saying it, but it's like a very subtle... it's like a 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. I mean, it's thoroughly enjoyable. She's on a cruise ship. She's wandering around, and there's lots of great scenes with obviously lots of cosplay characters. But it's only 3 stories in this, 3 short, obviously, comics. And then you've got 2 other stories, which the artwork completely changes, the story completely changes. So it's very different. But because the fun, this is fun all the way through. If you want comics that are fun, like the Nick Spencer ones, I love those ones. I love that sort of humour. They always have, or like the Fix. The Fix is very similar to this. It's got like a dog, and it's got dogs in this as well. And I just think it's just absolutely. This one, the Royal Society of Corgi, just up there, just beautiful. And there's also you got these lovely. Anyway, don't want to spoil it, but there are lots of other things with corgis, and it's just absolutely glorious. There could be a whole comic book of corgi stories, I can see. However, pool rules. No diving, no running, etc., etc. No open wounds, no body paint. This means you Hulks kind of thing. It's just humour. And you've got like scenes like it can't be a story with people going around with obviously their horse heads. Virtually everyone's got horse heads. Of course, makes it quite because she has to meet someone, of course, with a horse head. Because everyone seems to walk around with horse heads. Who knows? Maybe that's obviously a weird thing for comic book fans. I don't know, but it's just beautiful. At the cruise, you got her on there, and she meets up, of course, with all the various people. And I think sometimes she doesn't know if she's actually meeting up with the person she's supposed to meet up with anyway. And of course, it's and also her ex-boyfriend is there as well. And he, of course, he doesn't have such a prominent role, I think, in this as in the previous volume. And it's still quite good. I love the bit where he turns up. He's sort of standing at the door. He's completely, and it's just great. Absolutely funny. And I love this sort of de-stress with daily yoga poses. Got a lovely... Now, unfortunately, it says here, learn more in issue 7. And unfortunately, it didn't seem to include any. It would have been nice if they actually run some more yoga poses. I think some good ones, actually. I love the trip corgi one. Corgis get everywhere in this. Really good. Just fun. And that's what I really love about a comic. Just... I'm not one. That's why the last 2 stories are okay. There's nothing wrong with them, but they are grim sort of stories. And but it shows you how she develops certain things, which leads on to the other stories. So I can understand why they've sort of. But it just, to me, I wish they'd included something else, or maybe included it in a lovely collection of Mockingbird, the complete collection, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, would have been really good. But I just genuinely enjoyed it. I loved all the support characters where you've got a barman, you've got the ship's captain, and you've even got the artist turned up as well. The artist is one of the characters, and that sort of thing. Just great. And I love the sort of whole heaps of, I don't want to say what happens. Something happens on board. You know what happens on cruises in various things. It's, well, maybe it doesn't, hopefully it doesn't. I've never been on a cruise, so I have no idea. Cross fingers, nothing happened. You got, now I love the scene, there's an octopus there. What's his name? No, definitely. I love the Hawkeyes that turn up as well. There's always this Hawkeye sort of characters that keep sort of just popping up behind people. And the boyfriend is, I had a dirty cowboy once. Actually, I learned quite a few things. I have no idea. Is it a real drink? I don't drink, so I have no idea. Sounds very nice, actually. Butterscotch schnapps, 3/4 of, and Irish cream. Sounds very nice. If I do occasionally have a drink, that does sound like a really nice, completely unhealthy, ultra sweet drink. Imagine that must be very, very sickly. But it does sound nice. Anyway, you've got, I don't want to show you that because that will give a big clue. Anyway, that's it. Can't show any more bits because there's, well, obviously, being on the cruise, it would be a bit boring, wouldn't it, if there was a story where you're just on the cruise, a couple of things happen, but of course there is always a major menace on board to cause the problem, and that's the story for those 3 issues. And it's really, like I say, fun. And even that, the way they resolve that storyline is just so well done. Really, really beautifully done. And I just love even the end bit. The end bit is just beautiful. Just absolutely the end, as it says. Because it was, sadly, this series was cancelled. And then there's a nice, I really love this, and I do love sections here, and I'm not going to show it because, of course, it's on the page with the end, so that would ruin the story. So you got talking about an email that Chelsa Cain sent. This script is ridiculous, sort of all a bit about it, how it was created and that sort of stuff. I would have loved more information, but still, it's really nice. This, I hope she does more because I think it's just excellent. Anyway, then also included in this is the new Avengers, which is okay. Nothing wrong with it, actually. Absolutely fine. But I love Howard Chaykin's artwork. It's quite slightly jarring, actually, because you're looking at the comic, you've got obviously this artwork, and then suddenly Howard Chaykin's artwork. Suddenly you go, what? That's Howard Chaykin's. That didn't look like Howard Chaykin before, but obviously a couple of artists are involved instead. And you got, in this case, you got Mockingbird. She's got a problem because she was shot earlier on, and that's not much of a spoiler. It actually, I'm quite certain, doesn't actually say it there, but this is obviously, they've just added those stories. There's nothing in this about the shooting, it just happens the consequences of that action earlier on. My apologies if you didn't realise that. Personally, I didn't realise that, because this is one of the things where I've read some later comics and I was suddenly thinking, well, hang on, why is the Mockingbird still around? One, I thought she was killed a long time. There was a book I got, Death of Mockingbird, and then suddenly mysteriously I'm thinking, well, it's strange, he's got this new adventure. But in comics, characters getting killed is quite regular, isn't it? And then they turn up again. So you've got also you've got interesting variety of characters. And I love the sidebars. I do generally like, that's a feature that I love in, I wish they'd done that in the 60s and 70s. Of course, the Justice League of America always did that. I love that sidebar of, not of shame, but of glory. Wolverine, Doctor Strange, Mockingbird, Jessica Jones, Victoria Hand. I don't know if she is. And Squirrel Girl. I love Squirrel Girl. Another character that is just so much fun. Silly. I know people probably, but I do enjoy. It's nice having comics. I love grim comics. I love action comics. I love all those sort of things. But I do also love humour, and there's just not as many of those sort of comics. It's nice to have both. Romance books, love books, Western books, all those sort of things should be covering the whole sort of thing. Shouldn't be just grim, which is sometimes when you can see, like here, you can see dark artwork. The dark artwork, everything's grim. Everything's always done with shadows, and it's always not. And there's lots of violence, of course, all the way through. Actually, it was quite interesting. There was an introduction of well, for me anyway, a character I didn't realise. So of a major villain. So. Sorry, I should say the daughter of a major villain that I didn't realise. So that was quite good. Not saying anything who it was. And what you got at the back, I love the bits here. This is nice. They've got, and again, I can't show that because that would spoil the story. So this is the trouble with all the books. especially when it's very thin. It's virtually, how can you show anything about it, because you're virtually going to give it away. However, it does have very, very limited extras at the back, and that's it. One page of extras. Cover sketches by the brilliant Joelle Jones. I love her work. And also Mockingbird concept sketches by Kate, and I'm not going to say her name right, Nominski or something. I'm hopeless with telling saying names. So I love this, and it's just great. I love the pair of pants there, briefs, or whatever you want to call them, pants in the UK. So this one, top secret mission on a tropical cruise. Absolutely lovely. And I'm quite certain I will reread this a number of times. It's just an absolute joy to read. And nice little picture. We obviously on the front was a drinking something. No idea. When it comes to drinks, I couldn't even say what that drink is. But still, absolutely brilliant comic book. Loved it. And it's a pity, like I say, there was never a volume 3. But anyway, hopefully there will be more collections of stories about Mockingbird in the future. It'd be great. Totally recommended.